需要什么。
So I wanted to question, what is an Earth suit?
大家对地球服这个概念有什么想法呢？就是觉得它有些猜想呢，觉得它可能是跟什么有关系？
Earth suit is a term that I coined or made for explaining the function and taking your mind in a different way of looking at your body.
就是这个词是他自己发明的，然后就是用来让我们换种方式看待自己的身体。
So if you think about it, you are not your body. You can cut your arm off and you can still function and you have total mental capacity about things.
你不是你的身体，如果比如说砍掉你一只手，你还是可以思考。
Maybe traumatized, but so the essence of who you are is a force of energy, a force of life.
所以你的本质是一种生命力。
And you have a mind, will, and emotions.
你拥有情感和意愿。
Resident in that mind, will, and emotions is your intelligence, your capacity to think and process information from around you.
在你思想中，就是存在着的是你的智慧，然后同样知识的一种精神。
And all of that's put into an Earth suit for a limited time.
所有这些东西都放在你的地球服里。
If you want to go to Mars or the moon, you put on a spacesuit.
如果你想去火星、月球，你需要穿太空服。
To come and interface with us on the Earth, you put on an Earth suit.
如果你要来到地球的话，你就会穿上地球服。
And this is the fuel of the Earth suit. So when we eat food, it's supposed to have these 7 elements: water, sugar, vitamins, minerals, enzymes, proteins, fatty acids.
以上这7种是你的地球服的燃料，有水、糖分、维生素、矿物质、酶、蛋白质和脂肪酸。
And when we understand that our food should have that, we start saying, hey, this is something I know I should have. And I'm thinking about considering knowledge and how that guides design.
当我们了解到了这7种物质是我们食物里需要包含的，我们就发现了一些东西是我们之前不知道的。
So knowledge starts, it has, I thought, well, about 4 different categories or components to it, or ways that you can conceptualize knowledge.
它概括了4种，就是4种知识。
Some things you know. You should know that you're sitting in a room right now in Beijing.
第一种是你知道的，就比如说你现在坐在北京的一个屋子里。
Some things you think that you know, but as you progress through time, your knowledge changes.
第二种是你认为你知道的，但是随着这个时间推移，它会发生一些改变。
When I was a teenager, I ate a lot of industrialized food, lots of chicken, lots of meats, lots of rice, lots of various things that my parents gave me.
他小的时候会吃很多这个工业化的食品，比如说是各种肉啊、各种米什么的。
I thought I was eating a healthy lifestyle, or a healthy diet, but I had headaches, I had sinus and congestion colds, and lots of problems.
他以为他是在过着一个健康饮食的这么一种生活，但其实，他同时还得了很多病。
But I limited my intake of sugar more than other Americans, so I thought I was eating healthy.
因为他比起其他美国人已经在控制这个糖分的摄入。
That has since changed.
这件事就是发生了改变。
As I've learned more, so I started to question about what is the reason that I've had all these health problems. And that was the third area of knowledge. I realized that I didn't know something. There was something that I didn't know. I knew that I didn't know something.
所以他后来慢慢就因为身体就是开始质疑为什么我有这么多的健康问题，然后他就慢慢意识到有一些东西是我不知道的。
Fortunately, I could research that because I knew there was something there that I didn't know.
因为我知道了我有不知道的东西，所以我就可以去做一些研究。
So, and the fourth area of knowledge here is things that you don't know that you don't know.
第4种知识是你不知 不知道什么。
How do our design systems account for that?
我们的设计系统是怎么为这第四种知识做出解释
Are they dynamic enough to compensate and to take as a given? There's something that I don't, there's a lot of things that I don't know that I don't know. And how will my design accommodate new information that comes along as the design is implemented?
所以就是随着这个设计在我们日常生活中的应用，它是怎么能适应这些新的知识？
So there's some design elements, and we have intelligence. It has your intelligence is organized and useful for application, and it operates according to knowledge.
这是一些设计元素。第一条就是智慧。
And if you have a desire to change the status quo, then you will apply design principles and look at patterns in nature that you can apply to meeting those goals that you have about changing the status quo.
第二条就是想要改变现状的这种欲望，你要有这种愿望，才可以去就是在设计过程中去观察到一些事物的这个规律，并且把它运用到改变现状这个事情。
And so that takes into account of progressing through time, which I just said that if your system doesn't account for or make room for changing as you learn new information, then it's not as intelligently designed as it could be.
第三点就是需要时间，然后我们的设计需要留一些空间给改变。
And there's patterns in nature that can help us and tutor us like a school teacher.
大自然是我们的老师，我们可以从它身上学到很多东西。
So we need to look at nature, observe it, interact with it. Notice that it has things like diversities, just for diversity that has many systems feeding into the overall ecosystem's health.
就是首先一个很重要的特性就是多样化，它是在一个很大的一个自然的这个系统中，就是会添加很多小的系统。
The industrial model has overlooked this tremendously and snuffed out or made extinct many systems. The industrial model has not made way for the natural systems, the diverse natural systems to continue, but it has snuffed them out or killed them. Extinction has happened.
现在的工业系统是跟这个与之抗衡的。
And that increases the vulnerability of the system to collapse.
这个就是让整个系统变得更加脆弱，就是更加容易出现问题。
It brings in toxins that don't have a user.
工业系统带来了很多毒素。
Life is an integrated system, so we have clouds that collect water and rain. That satisfies the ground and the plants.
生命是一个整合系统，比如说我们有云，云可以治雨，然后雨可以滋润土地。
It cleans the air.
它就是让空气更加清。
It feeds microbes. It sequesters carbon when the microbes are healthy and the soil is growing and alive.
它同时会喂养这个微生物，微生物会让土壤更加健康。
There's a lot more we can say about that, but limiting our conversation to just the look at what has been done in the so-called green revolution since the 1950s in farming and food production, we call that conventional agriculture, and it has stripped the land of the soil.
所以我们现在要看一下，就是图左边这就是传统的农耕方式，是从1950年到现在的一种，就是这种方式把我们的土地都就是毁坏了。
Holzer here is the name of a farmer that has instituted these concepts of permaculture concepts, like many other folks, and has increased the productivity of their land and decreased the labor required to have this increase in productivity.
右边的这张图是一个叫 Holzer 的农场主，他的一种就是新的农耕方式，然后达到了这个可以减少农工，然后同时还提高生产力的这么一个
If we go into that, we'll take about 72 hours. Anybody want to sit around for that time?
如果他要仔细讲，可能要花72个小时。
Not me. So we'll talk about the local food web and how that touches very many aspects of our lives, from food production, delivery, and consumption and preservation of the food.
所以他现在讲的这个本土化的食物网，就是会跟我们生活中的很多很细的方面是息息相关的。
So the spider web is connected at many different points, and our food web should be similar in those connection points.
就像这个蜘蛛网一样，是有很多细的这个小点连接而成的。它应该就是我们的服务网也应该是像这样。
Those connection points can be sustaining other connection points and making up for deficiencies in them.
这些连接点之间都应该是让其他的连接点能更好、更高效的工作而存在的。
That's a concept that industrial design and the Industrial Revolution has brought to us. That's a good thing of the Industrial Revolution.
这一点是从这个工业革命中的其中一个产物工业设计带给我们的概念，所以这是一个好的一个成果。
But our short-sightedness as concerns food production has led to a great demand for food that we can trust and a huge demand for local farmers.
但是因为我们的这个缺乏远见，然后造成了很多现在有越来越少的食物我们可以相信，然后也给这个本地的这些农民带来了更多的这个要求。
In Ohio, many small farmers are going out of business and large corporations are taking over that productive land.
在俄亥俄有越来越多的农民开始失业，然后他们就失去了自己的土地，并且他们的土地都被这个大公司给夺走了。
That introduces inefficiencies and breaks down transparency or knowledge of how the food was produced.
但其实这是让整个系统就是透明化减少，并且就是让这个带来很多弊病。
So we have a lot of people that are demanding local food, going to farmers markets, and having other things we'll talk about at the last few slides.
就是我们现在其实有越来越多的人开始就是要求这个本地的食物，要求健康的食物，我们之后会谈到。
The problem is starting this is very inefficient.
但是要开始这样一件事是很不方便的，很没有效率的。
In Ohio, it's one of the 28 or so states where raw milk has been made illegal through business interests interacting with the government.
在俄亥俄，这个生的这种牛奶是为数很少的，其中一个州是合法的。
So someone like myself who was sick and then went into a vegetarian lifestyle and then went into a lifestyle that relies on animal products from small local farms, eating good foods.
所以像我本人我是一个素食主义者，然后并且就是平常吃的这些食物全都是要从这个本地的这些农场生产的。
I suffer through the inconvenience of home deliveries where I go to someone's home where the milk has been brought from the Amish farmer about 60 miles away, which is how many kilometers? 100 kilometers away.
所以就是对我个人来说这是很不方便的，因为我要去一个很远的地方去一个当地的农场才能拿到这个新鲜的食物。
So that is something that's not going to reach into the mainstream and feed a big population with all these inefficiencies.
目前的状况，这是一个很小众的，就是很难达到主流的一种生活方式。
The productivity of a farmer or of a farm can be optimized with enough consumers for each individual farm.
每一个农场都需要足够多的这个客户，足够多的订单来让它就是维持生产力。
Even as the chicken can be used in different ways.
就是一只鸡也有很多就是使用方式。
Our delivery systems can be made in that way too. And We want to keep waste from occurring. Our delivery systems can be cut down, made more efficient, and waste eliminated, and make it obsolete by our design.
我们的运输系统是可以通过设计优化。
So here's an example of a cycle of nutrients through a system.
这是一个循环的视图。
So when we don't dispose of our waste into the environment in general, and we use it for feeding other organisms that have a role in the food system, that is sustainable.
比如说，我们可以把这个一个环节之中的垃圾再，比如说喂养给就是下一个环节的这个，就是这样一个，就可以增加效率。
For Giro, we can have chickens eating bugs naturally out on the grass and protected in mechanisms like this.
比如说将这个就是家禽野生放养。
There are multiple functions for every element. Here we have a mulberry tree that provides shade, forage, food, nutrient. It's a nutrient absorber, and it protects the chickens that are around it.
右边这棵桑树就是可以还可以充当一个保护旁边的这些就是野生放养的这些家禽，还有这个作用，就是每一个元素都可以实现很多的功能。
And we want to obtain a yield from all of our efforts. So what we're doing in Cincinnati is we have a lot of farmers markets that have sprung up to meet this need. This is still an inefficient model here. Some of us are driving out to farms and picking up foods and delivering to small groups of people that are scattered around the city.
就是在辛辛那提已经开始有很多这种就是本地的农场，然后他们会，但其实现在目前还是一个很不方便的状态，很多。